Blennies are saltwater game changers. These vibrant fish bring energy and personality to any tank, big or small. With their quirky behaviors and stunning colors, Blennies turn your aquarium from ordinary to extraordinary. Let's check out the top Blennies that'll make your marine setup truly shine. Let's kick things off with the Lawnmower Blenny, the OG of algae control in your saltwater tank. If you've got a reef tank that's getting overrun with algae and it's starting to look more like an underwater jungle than the sleek, serene environment that you envisioned, this little guy's your go-to for keeping that green menace in check. The Lawnmower Blenny is like the landscaper your tank never knew it needed. These fish have an insatiable appetite for algae, munching away like it's their full-time job. They're particularly good at tackling algae-covered rocks, glass, and other surfaces, making them the essential addition to any reef tank. While they're known for their herbivorous diet, these Blennies can be a bit choosy. Don't expect them to go to town on every type of algae out there. Some Lawnmower Blennies might turn their noses up at certain strains, especially if they've developed a taste for specific kinds. It's kind of like trying to convince a picky eater to try something new. Not always a winning battle. That said, when you get the right match, a Lawnmower Blenny can be a lifesaver in maintaining a clean and healthy tank. They're hardy, easy to care for, and generally peaceful, though they can get a bit territorial with other Blennies. Think of them as the chill dude in the tank that just wants to eat algae and be left alone. They are aggressive to their own kind and can be territorial for fish that like to stay at the bottom of the tank. They get larger, up to 5 inches, and they should be safe with nearly every coral. Next up is the Tailspot Blenny, or Exthenius stigmatura, the micro-influencer of the nanotank world. If you've got a small setup, this little fish is the perfect addition. Tailspot Blennies are compact, growing only to about 2 to 3 inches, but they pack a ton of personality into that tiny frame. What sets the Tailspot Blenny apart is the spot on its tail. This little black dot is outlined in white, giving the fish a distinctive and adorable look. But these fish aren't just about looks, no. They've got a great temperament too. Tailspot Blennies are generally peaceful and get along well with other non-aggressive species, making them ideal for community tanks. In terms of diet, these Blennies are mostly herbivores, but aren't as hardcore about algae as their lawnmower cousins. They'll nibble on some film algae and might snack on tufts of the longer stuff, but they also need a bit of protein to keep them happy and healthy. Small crustaceans and invertebrates make up part of their diet in the wild, so be sure to offer them a varied menu in your tank. These fish are also a bit on the shy side, especially if housed with more active or aggressive tank mates. Think of them as the introverted artists of the fish world. They prefer a quiet, calm environment where they can express themselves without being overshadowed by more boisterous tank mates. Let's talk about the Bicolor Blenny, or Exthenius bicolor. The bad boy, the Blenny family with a look that's half business, half party. These fish are striking with their half gray, half orange coloration that makes them look like they've been dipped in 2 different paints. They're a bit larger than the Tailspot Blenny, growing up to 4 inches, and they've got a personality to match their bold appearance. Bicolor Blennies are known for being a bit more territorial than some of their Blenny cousins. They're kind of like the fish that likes to claim a spot in the tank and defend it from all comers. This means they can sometimes be a little feisty, especially with fish that look similar, but they're not total bullies. They like to make it known who's boss in their little corner of the reef. One thing to watch out for Bicolor Blennies is their potential to nip at corals. This usually happens when they're not getting enough to eat, so make sure you're feeding them with a well-rounded diet. Like the Lawnmower Blenny, they're primarily herbivores, but they'll need some variety to keep them from getting bored and turning to your precious corals for a snack. If you keep them well fed and happy though, Bicolor Blennies can be a colorful and lively addition to your tank, adding beauty and excitement. Now, if you're looking for a fish that's going to bring the bling to your tank, look no further than the Midas Blenny, Exthenius Midas. With its stunning gold color and eel-like swimming style, the Midas Blenny is sure to be the center of attention in any tank. Midas Blennies are a bit larger than some of the other Blennies we've talked about, growing up to 6 inches. They've got a sleek, elongated body that makes them look like they're gliding through the water rather than swimming. And like their namesake, they've got a bit of regal air about them, claiming territory in the tank and sticking to it. These fish are omnivores, which means they need a diet that includes both plant and animal matter. They're not picky eaters, but they do need a balanced diet to keep them happy and healthy. Midas Blennies can also be a bit territorial, especially in smaller tanks, so make sure they've got enough space to call their own. Despite their occasional bossiness, they're generally peaceful and make great tank mates as long as they're not provoked. Meacanthus gramistus, with its sleek black and white stripes, looks like it's always ready for a night out on the town. But don't let its stylish appearance fool you. This fish has a bit of bite, literally. Striped Blennies, also known as striped fang Blennies, are venomous. They've got fangs with venom glands that they use to defend themselves from predators, making them one of the more unique Blennies out there. But before you start worrying, these fish are generally harmless unless provoked. They're not out to cause trouble, but they've got the tools to defend themselves if needed. The venom they produce is currently being studied for its potential medical uses, adding an extra layer of intrigue to these already fascinating fish. Despite their venomous fangs, striped Blennies are peaceful tank mates and are usually content to go about their business without bothering others. They're also relatively easy to care for as long as you provide them with tanks that meet their needs. They prefer a diet that includes both plant and animal matter, so be sure to offer them a variety of foods to keep them healthy and happy. If you're looking to add a pop of color to your tank, the orange-spotted Blenny, Blenniella chrysospelos, is a fantastic choice. It's an herbivore at heart, which means it's going to spend most of the time grazing on algae and other plant matter in your tank. Orange-spotted Blennies are hardy and adaptable, making them a great choice for both beginner and experienced aquarists. They're peaceful and they get along great with other fish, but they do need plenty of rockwork to hide in and graze on. These Blennies are known to sometimes pick at corals, so if you've got a reef tank, you're going to want to keep an eye to make sure they're not causing any damage. Most of the time, the coral picking is a result of an accident, but if they aren't well fed, they might do it on purpose. In their natural habitat, orange-spotted Blennies are found on coral reefs throughout the Indo-Pacific, where they feed on algae growing on the rocks. They're going to need a similar diet in the aquarium to stay healthy, so be sure to provide them with plenty of algae and other herbivore foods. Now let's talk about the Scooter Blenny, or Synchirapus ocellatus. Despite its name, this fish isn't a true Blenny, but it's often grouped with them in the hobby because of its similar appearance and behavior. Scooter Blennies are small, colorful fish that are known for their unique scooting motion as they move across the substrate in search of food. But here's the catch. Scooter Blennies are not for the faint of heart. These fish require a very specific diet that includes a near constant supply of copepods and other small invertebrates. If you're not prepared to meet these needs, the Scooter Blenny can be a challenging fish to keep. Many aquarists struggle to provide enough food for them, leading to malnutrition and other health issues. That said, if you've got the experience and resources to care for a Scooter Blenny, they can be a beautiful and rewarding addition to your tank. Just be prepared for the commitment. They're like the high-maintenance best friend who needs constant attention, but is worth the effort. If you're into cosmic vibes and starry skies, the Starry Blenny, or Solarius ramosus, is the fish that you've been dreaming of. It's like having your own little piece of the cosmos right in your aquarium. The Starry Blenny's not just a pretty face, it's also a practical addition to your tank. Much like the Lawnmower Blenny, the Starry Blenny is all about that algae life. It spends its days hopping from rock to rock, grazing on algae, and keeping your tank clean and healthy. These Blennies are the ultimate multitaskers, combining beauty and utility in one charming package. But don't let their appearance fool you. Starry Blennies can be a bit territorial. They're not naturally aggressive, but they like having space. In a well-sized tank with plenty of rockwork, they'll be content to play the role of the peaceful grazer, quietly going about their business while adding a touch of celestial magic to your reef setup. The Starry Blenny is a stellar choice if you're looking for a Blenny that's as functional as beautiful. Meet the Smith's Blenny, also known as Myacanthus smithi or the Disco Blenny. This fish is like the life of the party, bringing a flash of yellowish fever to your tank and a whole lot of attitude. But don't let its vibrant colors fool you. This Blenny has a built-in defense mechanism, venomous fangs. That's right. Smith's Blennies have fangs that can deliver a venomous bite, though they're more likely to use them as a last resort. These fish aren't looking to cause trouble, they just like to keep their options open. In the wild, these fangs help them escape from predators, but in your tank, they're more of a cool conversation starter than anything to worry about. Smith's Blennies are perfect for smaller tanks, especially if you're into the nano scene. They're peaceful, easy to care for, and don't need much space to thrive. Just give them a few good hiding spots and they'll be happy to strut their stuff in your aquarium. Say hello to the Harptail Blenny, a fish that's as intriguing as it is beautiful. Originating from the western Indian Ocean, this Blenny is a master of blending in with its rocky surroundings. With a slender body and subtle coloration, the Harptail Blenny defines understated elegance. This fish has a venomous bite that can send predators running too. In the wild, the Harptail Blennies use their venomous fangs to defend themselves, often biting the mouths of would-be predators to secure a quick escape. In your tank though, they're more likely to use those fangs to keep the peace than start a fight. These fish are generally easygoing and can live peacefully in reef tanks as long as they've got plenty of rockwork to call home. Harptail Blennies are omnivores with a particular fondness for small crustaceans and microfoods. They're not picky eaters, but they do appreciate a well-balanced diet. If you're into keeping a tank that's both peaceful and fascinating, the Harptail Blenny is a great addition. Just give them the right environment and they'll reward you with their quiet beauty and playful behavior. If your tank needs a splash of bright color, look no further than the Canary Blenny or Meacanthus oalanensis. Like several others on this list, this Blenny packs a venomous bite, making it as tough as it is beautiful. Canary Blennies are a fantastic addition to reef tanks where they can coexist peacefully with corals and other invertebrates. They're generally laid back, but they can get a bit feisty if housed with similar looking species, like our friend the Midas Blenny. These fish are all about personal space, and they don't appreciate anyone crowding their style. In terms of diet, Canary Blennies are omnivorous, so they enjoy a mix of herbivore and carnivore-based foods. They're not too demanding, but providing a high-quality diet will keep their colors vibrant and their health in check. With the dark line running down its dorsal fin, this Blackline Blenny is easily recognizable and it adds a touch of mystery to your tank. At just 3 inches long, it's the perfect fit for nano tanks and smaller setups. Despite its small size, the Blackline Blenny is big on personality. It's a peaceful fish that gets along well with other tank mates, making it a great addition to a community setup. These Blennies are also reliably reef safe, so you don't have to worry about them picking at your corals or other invertebrates. In the wild, Blackline Blennies are found in the western Indian Ocean where they navigate rocky reefs with ease. In your tank, they'll need plenty of hiding spots to feel secure, but once they're comfortable, they'll be out and about exploring their surroundings. This dark-colored fish is almost invisible against the backdrop of your tank, making it the perfect stealth operator when it comes to tackling green hair algae. These Blennies are a bit larger, growing up to 5 inches, and they've got a reputation for being effective algae eaters. But here's the thing with black Sailfin Blenny. They're a bit of a wild card. While some individuals will clear your tank of algae with the efficiency of a Roomba, others might not be as interested. It's all about finding the right fish for the job. Even if your black sailfin isn't the most dedicated algae eater, it's still a beautiful and intriguing fish that adds depth to your tank's ecosystem. Like other herbivorous Blennies, the black sailfin needs a diet rich in plant matter supplemented with foods like spirulina, nori, and herbivore-based frozen foods. They're generally peaceful, but they can be a bit territorial, so make sure they have enough space to call their own. If you're looking for a fish that's both functional and mysterious, the black Sailfin Blenny is your go-to algae assassin. The two-spot Blenny, or Exenius bimaculatus, might be small, but it's a powerhouse in the nanotank world. Growing to just 1 to 2 inches, this Blenny is perfect for tiny tanks where space is at a premium. Despite its size, this fish has a ton of personality packed into that little tiny body. The two-spot Blenny gets its name from the 2 distinctive spots near its tail, which give it a unique and charming appearance. These Blennies are peaceful by nature, making them ideal for community tanks, but they do appreciate a tank that isn't too crowded. In the wild, they're often found alone, nestled among marine sponges and shallow reefs. In your tank, two-spot Blennies will be happiest with plenty of rockwork and hiding spots to explore. They're not picky eaters, and they'll thrive on a diet that includes both algae and small invertebrates. Two-spot Blenny is a small but mighty choice that won't disappoint. The linear Blenny, or Exenius lineatus, is all about the clean lines and peaceful vibes. This Blenny is easily identified by the white line that runs through the segmented brown patches on its dorsal side, giving it a sleek, streamlined look. It's a peaceful fish that's perfect for community tanks. But there are a few things to keep in mind if you're considering adding one to your setup. While the linear Blenny is generally easygoing, it has been known to nip at certain corals, particularly small polyp stony (SPS) corals and immature colonies of large polyp stony or LPS corals. It's not a guarantee that your Blenny will go after your corals, but it's something to be aware of. Careful tank placement and providing plenty of alternative food sources can help minimize this behavior. In terms of diet, the linear Blenny is an omnivore, so it's going to appreciate a mix of foods. These Blennies are native to the Indo-West Pacific, often found in pairs, living in coral-rich shallow waters. Let's talk about the Molly Miller Blenny, or Sartella cristata, a fish that's as tough as it is useful. This Blenny might not be as flashy as some of its cousins, but what it lacks for in color, it makes up for in utility. The Molly Miller Blenny is one of few fish known to eat Iptasia, a pesky anemone that quickly takes over your tank if left unchecked. But that's not all. Molly Miller Blennies are also great at tackling cyanobacteria, making them a valuable addition to any tank that's battling these common aquarium nuisances. These Blennies have a thicker body and larger eyes than most other Blennies, giving them a unique appearance. Molly Miller Blennies are peaceful and easy to care for, making them a great choice for both beginners and experienced aquarists. They're not as well known as some of the other Blennies, but those who have them swear by their effectiveness in keeping the tank clean and balanced. If you're looking for a Blenny that's more about function than flash, the Molly Miller Blenny is an underrated gem that deserves a spot in your tank. Now that you know all about the top Blennies in the hobby, let's talk about the differences between a Blenny and a Goby, as I've had some blog readers ask me. There are several things that differentiate them, as described by Jeff Kurtz from TFH magazine. Gobies typically have two distinct dorsal fins, while Blennies, with exceptions, have one long continuous dorsal fin. The aforementioned cirri can also be a distinguishing characteristic, as they are not present on Gobies. The pelvic fins of many Gobies are fused together. In some species, the fins are fused to the extent that they form a suction disc, which helps secure the fish to its rocky perches on the reef. However, one could argue that fused pelvic fins are not necessarily easy to spot while looking over a specimen that's resting on the bottom of a tank at your local aquarium store. We've explored a dazzling array of Blennies, each with their own unique flair. These little guys bring so much more than just color to your tank. They're vibrant, quirky, and full of character. These Blennies aren't just great for keeping things clean, they add that extra pop of personality that makes your tank truly come alive. Thanks for watching my video. Before you go, smash that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest and greatest aquarium tips. Give this video a thumbs up if you loved it, and check out our other videos for even more aquatic awesomeness. You can also visit our website for all things aquarium hobby related. Love us even more? Give me a super thanks, as those donations go to creating more content just like this. Or better yet, click the next video to your right. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, keep those tanks rocking and rolling.